Hi everyone, welcome to Intro to Media. If you haven't already, you should check out my introductory video that says Start Here in the module prior to this one. It's just a 2.5-minute video that gives you an overview of the kinds of things that you'll be expected to do in this class. In this video, I'm giving you an overview of the class and I'm introducing you to key people, telling you about some of the assignments and quizzes and reflection papers, and giving you a sense of how you should approach the material. We'll also consider the challenges and the opportunities of taking this course online. So that's me, Amy Jordan. You can reach me at a.jordan@rutgers.edu. I'm a professor and I'm chair of the Department of Journalism and Media Studies. Most of the research I do has to do with the effects of media on youth, so you'll see me using that as a touch point throughout the class. I'd like to tell you a fun fact about each of us who are working on the Intro to Media team. I have a couple dogs. They follow me wherever I go. Sometimes you'll hear them in the background of these lectures. One of them, we call him Professor Tucker. He's my alter ego on Facebook. He's that post that all my friends say, hey, put up Professor Tucker, my kids are really missing him. So he'll pop into our videos every now and again. This class is one that I really enjoy teaching. I've been teaching it now. This will be the 4th time that I teach it, and the 2nd year, and it's really just such a pleasure because we get a chance to talk about the historical developments that undergird the development of media technologies. We talk about the various roles that media play within society, everything from individuals' lives to the experiences that groups have to the definition of countries and cultures. We think about how economics and politics and other cultural forces shape the media landscape. And we dwell on how media have different kinds of effects depending on the domain of influence and also the kinds of audiences that are exposed to them. There's one textbook for this class. You can take either the 11th or the 12th edition. The 12th is the most recent one. It should look like the cover here. You can get it in digital version. You can get it used. You can get it through Rutgers Barnes & Noble bookstore, really wherever you can find it cheap. But I do think it's important that you have this textbook primarily because we read essentially every chapter, and the chapters are what provide the backbone for the lectures that I give. Your grade is basically structured around the rule of 20%. So I have a few different assignments that make up 100% or 100 points, but each type of assignment can be broken down into 20 points or 20% of your grade. Each week we will have a quiz. You'll see that the weeks are broken into modules 1 through 13. It's a 15-week course, but 2 of the weeks are given over to exams. These weekly quizzes are important for you to take. They do contribute toward your grade, but they also contribute toward your overall engagement with the class. So it shows us how consistently you're checking in, how deeply you're watching or listening to the lectures, and the ways that you're thinking about the material. So the good news is that you're allowed to miss up to 3 out of the 13 quizzes without any penalty, and you really don't have to tell me if you've missed a quiz or a week for any reason until you get to that 3-week miss mark. Things happen. People have to push work to one side to focus on another class, or things happen in your life. So give yourself that room to be able to miss a quiz if you need to, but try to take them every week. Each week The quizzes will consist of 4 questions. The questions are worth a half point each. If you get them all right, you get 2 full points. And those 2 full points cumulatively add up to 20 points, or 20% of your grade. We have 3 exams. Exam 1 opens on October 7th. Exam 2 opens on November 12th. Exam 3 will be held according to Rutgers' final exam schedule, which at the time of this lecture I had not quite figured out. The rules are opaque to me. I can't quite understand what they're asking us to do. I believe that the final exam will be held toward the end of the final exam period. So a couple things to keep in mind as you're approaching these exams. Each one is worth 20 points, or 20% of your grade. And so cumulatively, they're very important because they make up 60% of your grade. But they are open book and open note. When you take the exam, you will have a full hour to answer 40 questions. They're multiple choice questions. And so preparing well is key, because you want to be able to have your book available and your notes available and the lectures available so that you can quickly get to the answers of these to these questions. We have as well 4 reflection essays throughout the semester. Each essay is worth 5 percentage points. What the essays are your reactions or your reflections on guest lectures and documentaries that are designed to get you thinking. And these essays, which are due in September, October, November, and December, should be ones that you get more and more and more comfortable responding to. And they're each worth 5 percentage points, so you can get up to 5 points. Cumulatively, they're worth 20% of your grade. The way I grade in Intro to Media is reflective of Rutgers' structure of grading. There are no minuses within the school, so at least the undergraduate school, so you'll have an A, a B+, a B, a C+, a C, a D, or an F. That's how the structure works. In my class, if you get a 90 or above, that's an A. An 86 to an 89 is a B+, and so on. So you'll be able to track how you are moving toward the grade that you desire by adding up the points, because each of the assessments has a certain number of points associated with it, and you can track that on Canvas. Here's what you can expect from me. I'll be clear about what I expect from you. So as we move through this class, I will tell you when a quiz is coming up, when a reflection essay is coming up. I will tell you how to prepare. I will tell you what I expect you to do. I do my best to keep lectures engaging and to keep you engaged. This is hard, learning online. This is hard, teaching online. But I think that this is material that's relevant to our everyday lives. And I draw on examples that are happening around us. And I try to help you make connections between what you're learning in this class and what it means for real life. I'll give you the materials that you need to be successful. At the end of every lecture, to get you ready for your readings, I give you a guide to how to read that next chapter. As you're preparing for your exams, I give you a guide for how to prepare for those exams. There's a lot of reading, there's a lot of material that comes at you in the lectures. Sometimes hard to know what to focus on when you're getting ready for an exam. These study guides help you with that. In addition to the voiceover PowerPoints that I give you each week, I'll also give you PDFs of the slides so that if you want to follow along, you can do that. You can, if you're someone who likes to annotate slides, you'll be able to do that. If you're someone who likes to follow along with something that's kind of hard and fast and concrete, that'll be there. I have office hours each week, and those office hours will be posted on Canvas so you'll know where to find me and how to find me. You can expect that we will reach out to you if you're struggling. So we can track the extent to which you are taking your quizzes. We know the extent to which you're engaging with Canvas. And if we see that you're not consistently taking the quizzes or turning in your reflection essays or doing well on exams, we will reach out to you because we do care that you succeed. There are 265 students in this class, but there are 4 of us. And so we'll be really working hard to make sure that all of you feel that you have someone that you can turn to and someone who's watching over you. I do have a lot of resources based on my experience teaching this class that I can offer to you. So if you go off track, there are lots of ways to recover. And we give you lots of announcements. And we have a platform, Canvas, that has an announcements feature. And so if anything changes, that's how I communicate with you. Let's say there's a change in the reading for the day, or there's a delay in getting a lecture posted up because I've had internet issues, then that's how you will hear from me. Be sure that you set your Canvas settings so that these announcements come to you automatically as you see fit. They can come to you through your email, for example. There are 3 TAs for this class, and they work hard to make sure that the material is getting to you in ways that are digestible to you. So they're going to help you with exam prep. They're the ones who create these study guides for your exam. They give you clear guidance on your reflection essays and excellent feedback so that as you write these essays, if there's room for improvement, they tell you how to improve. The TAs will be consistent in their office hours, as I am. Each of them will offer 2 hours per week. And they will offer feedback to me if there's a problem. Look, I know it can sometimes feel intimidating to communicate with a professor. Sometimes it's easier to talk to somebody who's more like you, a student, and all the TAs are graduate students. So feel free to reach out to them if there's a problem that you're having with the course material or with how it's being offered to you, and they can get that feedback to me in whatever form you're comfortable. If you want it to be anonymous, it will be anonymous. Here's what we expect from you. I know that you're hearing a lot about how to be successful in remote learning or in taking online classes. And to be successful in this class, there are a few things that you should be doing. Do your readings. So you have about a chapter a week of readings to do, and we tell you what to look for in these readings. I reinforce it in the lectures. So if you go into your exam having done all the readings, if you take your weekly quizzes having done your readings, you will do well. You want to take your quizzes on time. The weekly quizzes will be due the Sunday of that week's module. So every week I will consistently release the course content on Mondays, and by Sunday evening, midnight, you must have taken the quizzes. And again, things happen. You can miss 3 of them, but do your best to take the quizzes as soon as you have digested the material, and take them seriously because those points add up. We give you these study guides to help you prepare for the exams. You get them about a week before the exam and use them and collaborate. These exams ask you questions and have you fill in information, and we think it's a great idea for you to find each other and figure out how to best prepare for the exams. If you have holes in your knowledge or if there's something that you've missed, certainly reach out to us, but also collaborate on getting these study guides up and running. We do hope that you turn in your best writing for your reflection essays. They're 500 to 750 words, and I know that can seem like a lot. It's a couple of pages. You could dash it off, or you can work hard on it, and we want you to do the latter because these essays show us how you're thinking about the material. We expect that you'll let us know if you're struggling with the course content, or if you're struggling with the online platform, or if you have an emergency. I know that it can be really hard to say, I need help, but that's what we're here for. And finally, we'd like you to visit us in office hours. We're all setting aside a couple hours a week, and we're really hoping that there are opportunities to get to know you and your interests as we open up our time and expect you to visit. So let us know how things are going. We'll do a mid-semester evaluation about 7 weeks in. You'll tell us whether or not there are opportunities for improvement or if there are things that are going really well. So let's talk about the challenges that we face in a large online class. I should tell you that we went to remote learning last spring, and we did it suddenly. We did it almost without warning. I was teaching 310 students at the time in this class, Intro to Media. I had another 20 in another class. And we did a lot on the fly. We made a lot of mistakes, and I think this is an opportunity to get it right. One of the things that I did when we went remote was I worked with a colleague in the communication department to try to understand what it was like to be a student in the remote environment. And we learned a lot from you. We listened carefully. More than 1,400 Rutgers students participated in this survey, and you told us about the challenges and about the opportunities. And I want to go over some of those with you, and maybe you can let us know if there are others that you've encountered. One of the biggest challenges that students wrote about was feeling like they didn't have the opportunity to communicate as much as they would have liked with their professors or with their TAs. So we've thought hard about how to overcome that challenge. Here are some of the solutions that we came up with. You're going to hear from a TA who is assigned to you. Each TA has about 75 students, twice a month, so every couple of weeks. And in those emails, we'll let you know how you're doing, but we'll also let you know if we have any concerns. Please write back to us and tell us what you're thinking. That's one way that we can connect with one another. I said it before and I'll say it again. I'll keep saying it throughout the semester. All of us have open office hours, so do check in. I have started an Ask Me Anything thread on Canvas, and kind of like a Reddit style AMA, so do ask me anything. This is your chance to get to know what I expect, who I am, what I study, what I like, where I live. I'll tell you anything. Do set your Canvas settings to notify you when I post announcements. I have found over the years that that's really the most effective way for me to reach all of you right away. A second challenge is staying motivated. I know it can be really hard if you're working in the corner of a dining room or in your bedroom to feel like this is something you want to spend time with. And we'll do our best to try to keep you engaged and keep you motivated. But we've structured the class in a particular way to try to overcome this challenge. Each lecture that we give will cue you to the next reading. So you'll find at the end of this module that we are telling you as you read chapter 1 what to keep in mind. Use these cues, and that will help you guide your attention to what's important in the next chapter. You're going to have weekly quizzes, as I've said, and this is how you can use them to stay motivated, like to see, okay, I'm doing well, I get this, or I'm struggling, I don't get this, and check in with us if you want strategies for how to pull what you need to out of the lectures. Every Monday morning, you can count on it, unless there's technical problems, there will be new material for you to check. The content will be there all week for you, so you can take it at your own pace, but do finish up the module by Sunday night. And that means you'll have done all the readings and the screenings, and you'll have taken the quizzes. The quizzes and the reflection essays aren't make work. I know when you were in high school, it's like there was all this homework and da-da-da, but we wouldn't give you that work and make that work for ourselves if there wasn't a purpose for it. Our idea is that these quizzes and these essays are kind of like scaffolds that help build your knowledge and your skills so that when you get to those higher risk assessments like the 3 exams that count for so many more points, you're ready for them. It keeps you every week coming back to this online material and checking in to see what's there, what do you need to read, what do you need to listen to, what do you need to watch. A third challenge, I get it, keeping track of everything that's coming at you. Many of you are taking multiple classes, up to 5 classes, and it's hard. It's really hard to keep track of quizzes and exams and papers. So we want to help you with that. One of the things that we're doing is putting due dates of all the exams and reflection essays on the syllabus. So if I were you, I'd look at the syllabus, I'd put them in the calendar now. Canvas also has a reminders feature, so you'll see a calendar with all of the due dates where everything is listed very carefully. But we have found, based on student report, that it doesn't work very well on a smartphone. So better to check those calendar features out with your laptop if you have one, or desktop, or your iPad if that's something you have. And as we gear up and go through the semester, we'll do our best to continually post reminders and announcements. We don't want to be annoying, but we also don't want something just to go by you and not have you notice it. Another challenge, of course, is tech issues. Personally, I've had challenges with internet connection. Many of us have had challenges with our devices. It's hard to download or stream, really media-rich content. So we're doing our best to address those in a few ways. First, we know that things happen. This week, Zoom went down, right? And internet service might get interrupted for all kinds of reasons, weather or anything. We also know that devices break. So if you're having problems, let us know. We can accommodate you. We're doing a survey as the course opens up where we're asking you to tell us what you have. So in the first 2 weeks of class, let us know tech-wise, internet-wise, what you have, what you're concerned about. We want to meet you where you are. So if you can't download video, then you can look at a PDF of a PowerPoint. If you don't have the opportunity to check in on Monday, that content will still be there on Wednesday. Trying to keep lectures like this to a reasonable amount of time, 30 minutes or less, so that you don't have to download or stream really huge files. As I mentioned, we leave assignments open for long periods of time, but even your exams can be taken anytime within a 24-hour period. So your exam will open up, for example, on October 7th, but it won't close again until October 8th. So those are the downsides of remote learning and the strategies that we've come up with to try to address those challenges. But I think there are some good things too, and really trying to maximize and acknowledge the opportunities that remote learning has to present to us. Opportunity number 1, and this we learned from the students when we did our survey last semester, you're safer. So until we really get a handle on coronavirus, I think it's best that, in a class like ours that can go up to 300 students, that we not gather in a packed auditorium. In fact, last semester in early March, when it became really clear that this was a very contagious and deadly virus, I sent my students home even before Rutgers closed, because I was worried about them sitting elbow to elbow in a auditorium that was really maxed out. So this is what we need to do until we really are in a safer environment. Students have also told us that there are some upsides to being able to learn at your own pace. I know when I get my feedback from students that sometimes I talk really quickly. Weekly content is loaded on Monday. You have until Sunday to complete the module, but you can go back to these lectures and listen to me talking really quickly as many times as you like. Nothing goes away. So you have the opportunity to review and re-review as much as you possibly want before the exams. I think a third opportunity is that the content is presented in multiple formats, and I'm hoping that these formats suit your learning styles. So what you're listening to now is voiceover PowerPoint that's been made into a video, but those PowerPoints are also given to you in PDF form so you can read them and not just listen to them. We also have video clips and podcasts. There are some movies. So there are lots of different ways that the content gets to you. And we've also tried to structure the assessments in ways that may reflect different learning styles. Short quizzes and reflection essays and exams. These are all chances to show what you know, but there are also lots of chances to make up work if things aren't going well at the beginning, or even in the middle or in the end. We're here to help. I'm here as your professor, but we also have 3 TAs, and there will always be somebody who's available to guide you. The 3 TAs, Katie, LaCarla, and Daniel, are graduate students in the School of Communication and Information. And you will each be assigned 1 primary TA, but you can feel free to reach out to any of them or to me. This is Katie. So Katie Diaz is a PhD student in journalism and media studies at Rutgers. She studies sonic representations of Muslims in Western media. She does a lot of cool things around sound. She looks at the role of sound in film and television. She thinks about how that sound might shape racialization and securitization of Muslims. And she also thinks about the promotion of Islamophobic listening practices. I like to think about the TAs and myself as kind of human beings. So Katie lives near me in Philadelphia. We both live in the same city. I have 2 Labradoodles. She's got 2 what she calls truly terrible cats. And she also says she has a debilitating fear of spiders. So we're all human. This is Daniel. Daniel Snyder is in his second semester of the MCM program. But this is his second year working with the Introduction to Media folks. Daniel was with me when we went to remote learning last semester. It was just so important to the class. Fun fact about Daniel, loves movies. He would spend all day if he could in movie theaters. Of course, he can't do that anymore, but he's got Netflix, so he's cool. LaCarla is also a graduate student in MCM. She is a marketing and communications coordinator for Rutgers, New Jersey Medical School. And fun fact about LaCarla, she's a lefty. Her favorite color is green, and she says she'd like to go skydiving someday. Let me give you a preview of what's to come. So, we're in Introduction to Media. But what are we talking about when we talk about media? We could be talking about the internet, television, radio, magazines, newspapers, right? All kinds of social media platforms. It's very big, the media landscape. So we'll try to wrestle that construct down to the ground. We'll be thinking about platforms indeed, like television and internet, right? Those devices that deliver information or entertainment to us. We'll talk about content as well. We'll be thinking about things like reality TV. In the next module, we'll talk about The Bachelor. We'll think about the difference in our emotional reactions to like drama or news. We'll consider modes of communication, audio, visual, print. And we'll also think about how the changing nature of devices, specifically the portability of devices, has altered our uses of the different media platforms. There are so many things that we could not have imagined 15 years ago. Everything from social media platforms such as Snapchat and TikTok. We couldn't even have imagined Twitter, let alone public officials tweeting about policy. Movie streaming, it's hard to believe that it's so young, only 13 years old. Feels like it's always been around. Or Amazon, which of course started out as just a retail delivery business and now is a conglomerate that produces not just television shows but movies. We'll spend some time in the first couple weeks thinking about the corporate consolidation of media and what that has meant to what's available in the media environment and the globalization of media content. So, our first official lecture starts now. We are reading chapter 1 of the textbook with specific questions in mind. How do we define culture? What are the key technological breakthroughs that accompanied the transition to the print and electronic eras? What is this notion of convergence? Is the notion of mass communication even relevant anymore? And finally, as we go through this semester, what are the benefits of a critical perspective of media culture? So thanks for spending this half hour with me. We'll have 2 more parts of this first module. Part 1 will be really working through concepts of communication and culture, models of the communicative process, and then in the final segment of this module, we'll be thinking about how tech over time has shaped that convergence culture that we're experiencing today. So we'll see you in the next module.